Thank you, Mr. Jack May. Thank you, Manatee Patriots. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. How's it going? Everyone awake? All right, so my name is Camden Bedinghaus, and I'm 22 years old. I have been living in Manatee County my whole life, and I'm a Lake Ranch. I live in Lake Ranch, so I know this community, and I love it, and I want to keep it how it is. You guys want to keep it how it is? Conservative? Yes. So I want to ask you guys a question tonight. When you were 22 years old, like I said, I'm 22 years old. When you were 22, how did you feel about America? Right. You probably felt pretty good about it, right? You probably were proud of your country. A lot of people today are not super proud to be Americans. They don't know what the flag means. They don't know what freedom means. We've taken it for granted how lucky we are to live here. And what I'm seeing in my generation is a need to bring conservatism and Christianity into it. And that's what you're seeing with Turning Point. So I'm a speaker for some of the Turning Point chapters here locally. I'm also an author of the book Fearless Masculinity. I'll tell you about it later. But I want to tell you guys tonight how we can bring the youth into the conservative movement. So we need to revive the youth. We really do. And it's time. You saw Charlie Kirk's impact. You know, he impacted me like no one else. Like Jack just said, you feel like you know someone, even though you just met them. That's how I felt with Charlie Kirk. And he inspired me, and he really got me involved with Turning Point, just watching him. And I was like, I got to do something now. And it's time that we start to get other young people involved. Who wants that? You guys want that? All right. So what we're told, like Liam just said, we're told that our country is evil, that our faith is outdated, and that everything that God's design is somehow wrong. It's all backwards from probably when you were 22, you guys respected the flag, you stood for the Pledge of Allegiance, stood for the national anthem. It seems like a lot of people don't even want to do that anymore. And it's sad to see. And schools have taught us that we're racist, being white, or whatever, and we're crazy for standing for the flag. I'm not doing that. I don't think any of us want to do that. We want to protect this country and what the people that fought for this country, many of you here. I want you to stand up if you fought for this country, if you are a veteran right now. Can we give a round of applause to every veteran in this room? Thank you, because people don't know how lucky we are to have people like you guys that fought for us. You know, this generation, my generation, is the most anxious, depressed, and suicidal generation in American history. But no one's asking why. You know, we kind of just see the headlines. We see, oh, they're depressed, they're anxious. 30% of Gen Z identifies as LGBTQ. You know, we're having an identity crisis. We don't know who we are. But no one's asking you why. So tonight I want to tell you why and how we're going to fix that. All right? Because the future of this country depends on it. It's now. The future is right now. So when you think of Gen Z, what comes to your mind? Identity, like I said, social media, rebellion, laziness, selfishness.
Don't believe in God.
Don't believe in God.
Entitled.
Right. Indoctrinated. I'll tell you what we are. We celebrate sin. We reject traditional values, and we wander without purpose. So no wonder we're lost. And when I say we, I'm talking about my generation. And here's the problem. We're becoming okay with that. We're becoming okay with just going along with life because we don't think anything's going to change anyway. You've seen a whole generation of people saying, all right, that's fine. Just keep going. Go to college every day. Let them tell me what I think instead of thinking for myself. All those things. And we're okay with not being involved with our communities anymore because we're the most selfish generation I think I've ever seen. And I'm a part of it. But let's look at reality for a second. Because I want to tell you why this is happening. We have to figure that out first before we solve it. Let's look at political organizations, parties, all of that for young people. Is housing affordable right now? No, it's not. For young people that are coming out of college or just going to the workforce, is housing affordable? No. Is college really affordable? No. Is gas affordable? It's getting there, it's getting better, but it's not there, it's not where we want it yet. The point is, both parties have failed the youth. Both parties have failed the youth, and that's kind of why I'm here. You know, it's the premise in itself. I'm speaking because we got to bring the youth into the conservative movement, but first we have to show them why they need to be a part of it. You ever heard the acronym WIIFM? What's in it for me? That's what we need to tell the next generation. Why should they get involved? Why should they even care? We've been given every reason not to care, really. Because where is the American dream gone? There's people fighting for socialism. We saw an election today in New York. We don't know yet, but we know that the youth largely voted for this guy. The youth they think everything's free, but it's not. But tonight I submit to you that revival starts with you. It starts with your family, your faith, and your homes. Because we know students go to college, and that's where all the stuff starts to happen. It's not a secret anymore. It's actually pretty obvious that that's going on, and it's just normal now, where we're like, oh yeah, that's happening in colleges. Thank God for Charlie Kirk, right?
Yes.
His whole organization, Turning Point, which I now speak for, was founded because of this, because colleges got so liberal. But it can't just stop with colleges. We can't just say, oh yeah, the young people, now that Turning Point's a thing, all the young people are gonna find the right ideas and stuff. No, because I was just at a debate last night. We hosted a Turning Point debate at my USF chapter, collaborating with the college Democrats. Because we wanted actually everyone to get their freedom of speech chance to go up and say whatever they want to say. We had a bunch of different topics. And I say that to say that it's really happening. There's really a lot of people that are lost. I mean, I was one of 4 out of 150 kids that were conservative in the room. Because I was in enemy territory in St. Petersburg, the USF chapter there. So pretty scary. I've never been that in enemy territory like that, being one of the only ones. Like, you think in a room like this, it's a lot easier to talk. But then when you're in a room with people that think you're crazy and evil, then it's a little scary. But it's necessary. We have to reach the youth. And so this debate went on, and what I heard kids saying that capitalism is evil, that ICE agents are inherently racist. Abortion should have no limits. Like, all these things that it's funny because you know that someone's told them about how they react. Like, it just goes straight to emotion. They don't even know why they're defending these ideas. And so I say that to say it's really happening on colleges. But why is it getting to colleges? Why? I went to college, but I wasn't like that. We have to find the root cause. And so that's why I say that this revival, the youth revival, starts with you guys. Because someone asked earlier, but can you guys raise your hand if you have kids in this room? A lot of you. And then raise your hand if you have grandkids. All of you. All right, a lot of you. So listen. The family is the front line. It all starts with the family. Erica Kirk was just talking the other day in an interview, and she said that if Charlie Kirk were to ever run for office, he would have ran on one mission: to revive the American family. Because he knew how important that was. And he's spot on with that. All of the issues stem from the family. And we're letting the enemy come in and redefine what family is. So no wonder we have a generation of lost people. Gen Z has grown up with broken families. A lot of single-parent households. A lot of dads are not in the homes. And we see the effects of that. There's obviously going to be things that come from that. But I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. I had 2 married parents that are still married. I have 5 siblings and 2 grandparents that have been married since they're 18. And so I saw the stability. Even not just, they didn't have to say it. It was just there. And so when you lack stability, and then you go off to college, the enemy is ready to get you, to just catch you when you're vulnerable. Because when you go to these things and you see something that seems like you belong there, you're going to believe anything they say. And so if we let the enemy get into our families, you leave the children vulnerable to attacks. And we want to stop those attacks. And so that's why I say that family is the front line. If we want young people to stand for what's right, it starts in your guys' homes. It really does. It starts with parents showing their children why values matter. It starts with grandparents showing their grandchildren what purpose means, what faith is. You were uniquely created for this moment. You guys. So was I. We're all here for such a time as this. And it's very important that we act now before the enemy gets any further. Because he's already reaching. You see it in schools. It's not even just colleges anymore. It's elementary schools, middle schools. I have 2 siblings in middle school, 1 in elementary school, and my mom had to take them out of school because they were teaching them that gender is fluid. And queer theory. And this is happening even in Florida. Like, we think it's all perfect, but no, there's still things that happen here. And so it's not just colleges. Schools indoctrinate us, and we're not. The enemy's not dumb. You know, we disagree with them on probably a lot of different things. We think it's pretty crazy, some of the beliefs, but they're not stupid. Because they know if they get to the children when their mind is being molded and changed, they can convince them of lies. And a lot of us know the truth in here. We cannot let the lies overcome the truth. That's what Charlie Kirk stood for, the truth. Always. And when the next generation feels lost, America feels lost. Because we are America, like you said. It's not the future, it's right now. And so if America feels lost, if the youth feels lost, America feels lost. But not all hope is, because you saw Charlie Kirk draw huge crowds at these campuses when he went to speak. It was amazing. And it's not just because he was an charismatic, smart guy. It's because he told the truth. There's something so captivating about telling the truth that he gets even the people that hate him out there to these campuses. And the Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's how important it is. And Gen Z was at a turning point because of Charlie Kirk, because of what he brought to the campuses. So the homes, the campuses, these are all areas where the enemy wants to attack because it knows how valuable that time is with your children, with your grandchildren, with the teachers, with pastors. It's all over. And so here's what's important. Truth is not always popular, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. You know, I stood in that room debating, being one probably out of 5, like I said, conservatives. Does that mean it's wrong? The values I stand for? No. The truth is not always popular. And it's never easy. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes telling the truth is pretty hard. But that's why I love patriots like you guys who actually take action and get out because you know how important the truth is. We've somehow been lied to as a generation. We've been led into believing that morality is subjective, that truth is subjective. I think it goes back to that selfishness area that we were talking about. It's all about me, my truth, live your truth. You hear that because we like to redefine terms to fit our lives, but that's not how truth works. That's not how God works. There's one truth and it's the truth. Did you know that nearly 1 in 3 Gen Z kids report feeling depressed or anxious every single day? Yeah. Suicide among 18 to 24-year-olds has doubled in the last decade, and only 17% of Gen Z say religion is important in their lives. So we're wandering spiritually, emotionally, and morally, and the enemy is thriving. You see it. No wonder we haven't been involved in politics. What's the point? That's what a lot of kids are thinking. What's the point? But there is a way out. But God. To save this generation, we first have to show them what they need saving from. Because all of us in here know that they're lost, that people are lost, and that there's an enemy. But if you're in that position, you don't even realize it. So if we want to solve the problem, we have to show them what they need saving from. Well, how do you do that? take them to church. You read scripture. You expose the evil and corruption going on. We see it even in our county, there's corruption. No matter where you go, you're going to see stuff like that. So it's important that we expose it. We show them what's actually going on. Ephesians 5 verse 11 says, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. You know what expose means? It means bring into the light. So we need to bring the evil, the corruption, the darkness into the light and show these kids and these teenagers, these young adults, that there is a real good and a real evil. When you expose the evil, it starts to show you why you need to stand up for the truth. So we must show young people what's at stake if they don't get involved. Right? If we want young people to be here at these meetings and in the Turning Point chapters and in their communities doing something, you have to show them what they're going to lose if they don't do something. We get really comfortable. We get so comfortable in this free country, but we don't realize that things are starting to change behind our backs. And if we don't do something, we're going to lose it. So the first step in actually changing their minds is to show them what they need saving from. And here's the truth. Many of us woke up because of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I did. I wasn't even speaking at things until he got assassinated. It showed me that there's real evil and there's real good, and you have to fight for the truth. You have to. We've been given no choice anymore. And so as bad as that moment was, God always uses evil for good. He always takes what the enemy meant for evil and uses it for good. And so, even in a moment of horror, look now at millions of Americans, young Americans, are starting to stand up. So not all hope is lost for the next generation. And me and Liam are living proof in this building right now. It's not all lost. Since Charlie Kirk's assassination, we've seen a 15% increase in weekly church attendance for young adults. We've seen a 36% increase in Bible sales. Charlie spoke truth boldly, always putting God first. Always. And the enemy tried to silence him, but evil failed. Because God had other plans. God took what the enemy meant for evil and used it for good. And I think we all need to do the same thing. Take that as a lesson and use the evil that's going on in our communities and in our country and expose it to save the next generation, to revive the youth. We must restore the good by being the good, by doing something in our communities. And it's not just at these meetings. It doesn't end here. It starts in here. You have to take what you get out of these meetings and use it out. You have to take it out into your homes. Because that's where the enemy wants to deceive people. It starts in your own home. So do you want a future for your grandchildren and children in this country? Yeah. Do you? Yeah. Do you want them to grow up in the free country that you did? Yeah. Then you must fight. You must expose the darkness. You must speak truth. For your family and for my family. For my future. So what can you do? I want to give you guys some practical things we can do today to revive the youth and to make a difference. Not just a motivational speech. I want to give you practical things we can do. Number one, pray. Prayer is not our last resort. Prayer is our first option and first priority. I see too many Christians wait till things get so bad to start praying. But we need to do that as the first action. Because we know the power of prayer. We know it. So why aren't we praying more? You got to pray for revival. Number two, invest in your family. Teach your children and grandchildren about faith, purpose, and God's design. Because truth is subjective. And the family is where it all starts. Give them a chance and become a mentor. Take a chance on us. Young people are extremely moldable to their environment. You become your 5 closest friends. And that's why a lot of the things that go, people start drinking or doing drugs, because they're who they're around, who they're surrounding themselves with. But it starts in the family because that's your foundation. You have to start building that foundation for your grandchildren and your children. Your family is your ministry. Number 3, show up. Show up in the midterms next November for my future. Show up at church. Show up at your grandkids' basketball game. Show up because you need to lead not only by your words, by what you say to them, but by your actions. You ever see a kid who just sees their parents and then they do the same thing, like a little baby? It's like 1 year old, and 1-year-old looks at their parents and models what they're doing. They start clapping, they'll start clapping. It's because we learn more by people's actions than their words. And so if you really want to do something, show up with your actions. Don't just tell them the truth, live the truth. The battle for this next generation is already on, guys. Look how many young people are in here. How many? 2. 2 people. So the battle's on.
We're young at heart.
The battle for America starts with local action. I don't know if you've heard the quote, but local action equals national impact. It all starts right in your communities, right in these buildings we meet in, and right in your own homes. So will you guys stand with me and defend the future? Will you stand right now and defend my future? Hope starts with you. The next generation starts with you. So if we're ever going to do something about the next generation, you have to start with yourself. Be the person that you want the next generation to be. Who your children to be and your grandchildren to be. And if this generation is ever going to change, it has to start with young men standing up as warriors, as fighters for truth, defenders of truth. Because God has a design for us. He calls men to be providers and leaders and protectors. So if we want something to change, we have to start with us. The enemy calls masculinity toxic. Culture calls us toxic for being men. It's all by design, guys. They're not dumb. The enemy is not dumb. They know what they're doing. And so, if we want to change, young men have got to stand up. So if you have a son, a grandson, a nephew, or you're a man, I wrote a book, Fearless Masculinity. It has the word toxic crossed out because that's what culture has called us for too long. And you saw young people, actually young men in this last election, swing 36 points or more for Trump and for the right. Because we were tired of being called toxic for being men. And so if we want to change the next generation, men have to stand up. Young men have to stand up. They're leading like God designed. And so that's why I wrote the book. And I don't want you to get it for what it'll do for me. I want you to get it for what it'll do in them. Because it's a roadmap to finding who God designed you to be. And it exposes a lot of the evil going on in our own lives and our communities. And so God just wanted me to do something about it. And I think it's time for all of us to do something about it. It all starts with our own actions. I'm here today because of the courageous bravery of Charlie Kirk. I really am. He showed me what a man of God was. And he showed me what